There's something I've been thinking about. Had a conversation with somebody the other day, and we were talking about this idea that as parents, we want our kids to be better than us. And as I thought about that, thought struck me that maybe that is not biblical thinking. As you know, on this channel, it's my goal to help you think different, help you think biblically. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about this, and we're going to try to think biblically whether or not we should want our kids to be better than us. If you're brand new to this channel, first thing I want to say is please hit the subscribe button. That would encourage me a lot. Make sure you share this with your friends if it is an encouragement to you. As I started thinking about this during this conversation with someone else, it really struck me that as a parent, I don't want my kids to be better than me. Now, there's several reasons for this. There's several ways of thinking, but first of all, Ephesians tells me that as the husband and the father, I am the head of the house. I am the spiritual leader. I am the pace setter in the house. So if my kids are better than me, that means that they have passed me spiritually. And that can't happen in a healthy home. So I need to be a father and a husband that is growing spiritually, that is the one actually leading the home. If my kids pass me and they're better than me spiritually, then I'm no longer leading them. Now, of course, we would want our kids to learn as much as they can, and we want them to we want them to grow in the Lord. And there may be a day when the Lord calls us home, that as they continue to grow, that we would see them, or that they would. We wouldn't see them, but that they would surpass maybe where we were spiritually. But as long as we are here, we should always be growing. 1 John talks about our spiritual growth and the importance of it. So if we say that we want our kids to be better than us in this spiritual sense, we've kind of given up and said, well, I am where I am, and I've made the mistakes that I've made, and we're not going to keep moving forward. So from that standpoint, I would definitely say I don't want my kids to be better than me. I want to continue to grow spiritually and stay ahead of their spiritual growth. Maybe you're saying, okay, Pastor, I get it. My kids shouldn't outgrow me spiritually, but I at least want them to succeed more in life than I did. I want them to have a better job. I want them to have more money. So I still want them to be better than me. Well, there's a couple ways we can think about that. Number one, maybe that's just not what God has for them. Maybe God's plan for them is to live in such a way that maybe they don't have as much money, and they learn to rely on God for each of the things that they need. Maybe God has called them into a ministry where they're just not going to make maybe as much money as you had. If that's God's perfect plan for them, that's what I want for their life. Ultimately, I just want my kids to do what God has called them to do, and I want them to obey Him, whatever that means. The other side of that is, if you really think about it and you say, well, I want my kids to do better than I did in their career, then that means you are not content with where God has put you. One of the things I have been learning, we've been learning this as a church too, is God has us exactly where we are for a reason. Wherever you work, whatever your career is, the place that you go every day, that's where God has you. That's your mission field. That's your purpose. You're there to make disciples. So if you say, I want my kids to have better than I have, then you're really not content or thankful with what God has for you. I look at my life and I think, man, if God would give my kids, if my son would grow up to be a pastor, what a wonderful thing. I would love my kids to do what God has called me to do. If my daughters were pastors' wives or missionaries' wives, that would be amazing to me. I would love that. I would say, though, for sure that I do not want my kids to be better than me, at least while I'm walking on this earth, because I need to be their example. I need to be the one leading them, and I can't do that if they pass me. So let's think about the things we say. Again, we want to think different. We want to think biblically. And when we say that we want to be better than our kids, I just don't think that's really a biblical answer. Hey, if this video encouraged you, like I said, please share it with a friend. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Guys, that really helps my channel. If you just interact, tell me how this video encouraged you, challenged you. Let me know how the channel has been helping you. Drop that down in the comments. It stirs the YouTube algorithms. And like I said, if you have not subscribed yet, please do that. I would really appreciate that as well. We'll see you next time.